We talk about everything, play music in between. Tune in and enjoy Chad's underground scene. Talking music, you know what I mean. Tune in and enjoy Chad's underground scene.
Welcome to Chad's Underground Scene. We are deep in the underground with Billy Caldwell. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing good, man. We're here in my CIA location in deep bunker in outer Mongolia. Thanks for joining us here, Chad.
And we have a little history, and then we have history before the history. So before we get to our history, let's talk about the history before.
Okay, so the
before music,
history.
what were you into, and what did you start with? I did some skateboarding.
I was really into Evel Knievel. I loved Evel Knievel.
Yeah, Evel Knievel was hot, yes.
You know, I grew up in Las Vegas. He jumped the waters and crashed horribly, and I was there. I witnessed it with my eyes. I seen it. It traumatized me as a child. I was like, oh my God, that guy tried that on a Harley. That is so insane.
On a Harley that you can hardly jump.
So,
I can't go around an oval track on a Harley. I'll crash.
Right, totally. Anyway, different times. So I grew up in the desert, and we were bored as kids because growing up in Las Vegas at that time in the 80s, it was a completely casino-oriented 21 and over town. So kids just got into trouble, went into the desert, rode dirt bikes and skateboarded. So that's what I got into, was skateboarding, and the punk rock scene. That's where I first got into punk, because the skaters.
And that was a big connection with skating and punk music, right?
Exactly.
Because I was a skater. I did skating with my buddy Corky, and then we actually were doing Coca-Cola team and did every pool around, any empty pool at a hotel.
Right.
We were there. We were all there with our friends.
100%.
And building ramps everywhere.
Yeah, exactly. And you just,
And that was in California. You were in Nevada.
I was in Nevada, but we came out here all the time because I was a sponsored skater. So we come out here for contests all the time. We go to Arizona, Utah. And that was pretty much, I thought, where I was going. I thought, at that time it was small still. I mean, it wasn't like you got paid. It was just like, oh, you might get, to the amateur team finally, a vision or something.
And get an endorsement. Get
exactly.
Free stuff.
I got as far as like flow team stuff, which was great for a 16-year-old to be all like, oh wow, you just gave me like 3 boards, I'll sell 2.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what we all did, right?
Yeah, exactly.
As many wheels as you could get, and you're selling them.
Exactly. And so anyway, I hurt myself at a contest, long story short, and that was the end of that. And then I went to college up in Reno and got into snowboarding pretty heavily, and it was an easy transition from skateboarding.
Oh yeah.
And so I got sponsored doing that, and I thought that was now going to be my new thing, because I was like, oh, this is, it's snow, how am I going to hurt myself? And I definitely hurt myself. So back then it wasn't just this X Games like freestyle course. It was half pipe, which I was good at. That was like my forte. But then there was the other side of it, which was the racing. So when the racing started to happen, I did not do well with that. So the racing, that wasn't so fun.
That's different. Yeah,
and I hurt myself. I had a whole wild world of sports ending to a race, and I popped my knee out. My hip out, and that was it. And the doctors were like, "Dude, you're going to end up really messed up if you don't stop." So
so my snowboarding came later.
Yeah.
So I did the skateboarding, and then I was playing in a couple punk bands, and then I was in Eastern for years, and then I was hanging out, and I was in between tours, and my buddy goes, "Hey, I'm still sponsored by Sims, and they're doing this thing snowboarding now."
Right.
And he goes, "I can get you a free snowboard."
Oh man!
Because I'm sure they'll give one to you because you were sponsored.
Right.
They'll get you one of those snowboards, and check it out. So he gives me the snowboard, and he goes, and I had some buddies up at Mountain High here in California, little resort, and I had some buddies that worked up there in the pro shop, and they said, they said, hey, we can get you a lift ticket, come on up, and you can freaking learn that thing. We can show you how to do it, right?
Perfect.
And so I spent like 5 days up there.
Yeah.
Staying in the, we stayed in the lodge up there where all the people that worked at the ski resort stayed.
Right.
And every morning get up early and get out on that snowboard. And
nice.
By the end of the 5 days, I could snowboard pretty good.
Yeah.
And, but the next day I go home and I'm going, oh my God, I've never done so many sit-ups, push-ups, and squats in my entire life. Right, I was wiped for a whole week.
Oh yeah.
Everything hurt.
Oh my God. Yeah, my first experience with snowboarding was my good friends in skateboarding taking me to this place called Brighton up in Salt Lake City area.
Oh yeah.
And the whole time up there, they're like, "Oh, dude, you got it, man. You know, like you know how to skateboard, so this will be like old hat to you." And I'm like, "Okay, sure, yeah." So they take me up to this Black Diamond. I've never skied, mind you. I've never had anything to do with the mountain, so I was still just getting used to the whole the angle, you know,
the steepness and and how quick you go.
And dude, as soon as we got off the lift, they're all gone, gone. I'm by myself at the top of this like just terrifying mountain, and I think it took me like 2 hours to get down the first time. I think I squatted on my butt halfway down, screaming like a woman at some points. You know, I'm sure it didn't look pretty, but yeah, that was my first experience. But then I got really good at it. But the first experience was not fun. But anyway, from there I moved to LA, and my roommates at the time were musicians. My friend Nick from Vegas, he was in a pretty popular band out there, and so he showed me some chords, which made me go, oh, I kind of understand this. And then my other roommate Troy, he was in a local band at the time, Chokebore, who ended up doing stuff and opening up for Nirvana and the whole thing. But he showed me some stuff too, and then I was just like, oh, I think I kind of like this, and I started writing songs. And I put some stuff out early, got on KXLU. I was petrified, like stage fright, and so they would ask us to play. I would always refuse, so I did that for years. Like I think they asked us like 4 or 5 times to play. We said no because of me. I was just like petrified to finally play. And then that started the music thing. I just started playing out a lot from there, and then
yeah, I've played with a few people that have had that anxiety of going on stage.
Oh yeah,
I played for years with one guy, and every time we played, he'd run to the bathroom and throw up before we played. Yeah. Every single gig. Yeah. And I just looked at him and I'm like, dude,
Axel from the Gears does that quite a bit. Axel from the Gears does it almost every show. I'm not even lying. Like it's totally like a thing. Like the last minute
like,
jitters.
Every time he's like, yeah, every time.
Yeah, pretty much. That's can't eat before. Don't eat. You might regret that. You know. So yeah. So finally, I started playing out. Then I really started like I was in this band called Herculon, and we got kind of played a lot on KXLU for a little bit of time. We had this Jan Michael Vincent song that was about Jan Michael Vincent from Airwolf, who ended up being he was like the hot stud in the 80s and kind of like fell down a little bit. And so we wrote this whole Jan Michael Vincent song, and I remember that was getting played a lot. And then the band just kind of disbanded, and from there, A Million Kids came. I took the drummer from that band. Christian was our very first drummer, and then A Million Kids started there, and then we just kept going, and then stopped for a while, and then started again, and stopped, and now I don't know what we are now. I have a drummer in Idaho. I'm moving to Portland in September, so
nice.
Josh is here in LA, and Joe, who now plays bass with us, is in San Pedro. So eventually we'll play a show, I'm sure, again, but I don't know when exactly. So
we met through doing a bunch of shows together.
Yeah.
And that was Million Kids, right?
Yeah.
So tell us about Million Kids.
So Million Kids was a project that started kind of out of left field. I was in that other band, Herculon, and things just weren't, bands sometimes don't get along, guys. There's conflict. So we disbanded, and me and Christian continued, and we started A Million Kids, and Kim Masters was the bass. And she was my ex she's my ex now. So, but
she was my ex at the time.
At the time,
nice.
The whole time, it's just been an ex. So anyway, no, she was great. She and I and Christian, we played a lot of shows right around '99 to right about like 2001, 2002, and we got some interest like from the labels. We were like thinking like, oh, this might happen, and then. that whole rap rock stuff and djent music came in, and it was just so opposite of what we sounded like.
Yeah, it took it out. Yeah.
It was like there's no way. I knew it was. It's like there's no way they're gonna take some like kind of poppy punk stuff, right now. So we ended up having a kid and just turned into a family for a while, and we just stopped playing music. And I think I hopped into like 2 or 3 bands. I was in a band called Vinyl Jesus for a little while, and I did that with some friends. And then we got asked to play a show Million Kids did, and that like in 2008 or something, 2007, and then we started playing again, and that's when I really started seeing you.
Yeah.
I actually played with you guys back in the first version.
Oh yeah, first version.
Yeah,
a bunch of times.
Yeah, a bunch of times. And actually, I think we might have even played with you in Hercules.
Yes, and you're a big supporter of the underground.
Yeah, man, I love the underground.
So tell us a little bit about, you've set up a lot of shows.
A lot of shows. I've done that
during that time, and then again.
Yeah.
After you were.
Yeah.
Always. Oh, you need a show called Billy, right?
I mean, I knew that you have to have teamwork to make the dream work as it goes, and when bands all kind of don't play nice and are just like, oh, this is my band. Like, I'm sure if you've played in the LA scene for a while, you've probably had one of those famous Roxy or Whiskey nights, like where there's like 200 people for the band that's right before you, and you're like, oh my god, this is going to be a great crowd. I am so stoked right now. This is going to be a great fucking show, right? And then I'm literally on the last note of that band. The entire place is empty.
Yeah.
Like within minutes, dude, and they're gone.
And whoever's left, the band's telling them, get the hell out.
Exactly.
We're meeting up the street.
Exactly. And you end up playing to like a really empty room, and it's like, if you've done the circuit, it's happened to all of us.
Yeah.
It's a weird feeling, and it just kind of sucks. And I always hated that. And as much as those venues are options to play, there's always that vibe of like, it's not like all the bands know each other, where it's like a party where everyone's going to hang out and see the other bands. And so I always just wanted to make it so that, for all friends, we might as well be playing the same night, so that way, since we all kind of share the same fans, work it together so we can help it grow, and then the scene grows. It's more like people come.
Then everybody
for the
comes
scenes.
together.
Exactly. Yeah. It's like it's more about the scene. So yeah, I set up a lot of shows all over LA, and a lot of big names and fun names, and I think the last big one that I did was a Scream show at the Redwood. That was a pretty epic, fun night. And then the Pizza Palooza stuff was fun, and I don't know. It's fun doing it. Now it's like kind of weird because of the pandemic stuff. It's all like, I don't know. I saw some pictures. It's packed right now, so I'm totally stoked to see music live.
Yeah.
But man, I just hope everything just stays smooth, because man, if we go back in lockdown, we'll be so angry.
Yeah. Oh, it was rough. It was rough.
That was a long haul.
It was so alien to what we're used to, right?
I think I know what it's like to be in a space station at this point.
Oh yeah,
like it was.
And
like,
if they ask for volunteers, I'm not volunteering.
Not at all. That sucked. You
mean we don't get to see people and hang out?
Yeah, exactly.
No, thank you.
Yeah. And then you had to like turn into this virtual metaverse world, which is like odd too, and like everyone's doing everything. It's like, now I got to Zoom, everything has to be Zoom, and it's like, Jesus, man, like this is, for musicians and comedians and performers in general, I think it was a hard blow, because we all know that to get a recorded sound to sound good, thick and like the way you want it to sound, it's not like a one-button press, It's like you need a pretty nice, serious setup to make it sound good. And no one really has that at their house. So it's like, it's very difficult, because you're trying the best you can. It sounds good maybe in the room, but you're like, the little stupid mic on these things or whatever,
right, yeah.
And it drives you nuts. So even though it's good, I'm glad to see live music, because hearing a live band is by far the best feeling, to feel the actual...
The best feeling on earth.
Oh, man. It's awesome.
And being with all the people hanging out and enjoying it together, right?
Exactly. Because that's more what it's about,
it's a group sport.
It's a group sport, exactly. Some people don't look at it that way, but yes, it is a
and like
sport.
You said, it's a team sport. Like you were saying, it's everyone together and doing it together.
You have to, man. Yeah, because I think if you don't do it that way, it's a hard... Especially in LA, you're going to have a hard time. You're going to have a real hard time.
So I say we break into one of your Million Kids songs.
Okay, let me find my pick. Hold on a second. I dropped my pick. Where did my pick go? Where did I go?
Here, I go in my handy dandy wallet.
See, this is also a thing. If you're a guitar player like me, for some reason, picks and me are like oil and water. You put a pick in my hand, it'll disappear from my hand.
Oh, yeah.
It's almost
yeah.
like magic.
And they never come back again unless they end up in there.
The full gremlin. Oh, if they end up inside,
you have to hear it forever.
It might be forever. It's in there. You might not be able to ever get it out. So anyway, this is an old one called "Boom Goes Your Bomb." I'm playing it a little bit more soft than I normally do, but let's try it.
Breaking knowledge with his concrete eyes. Sets the screw with an evil grin. I think you got it. I know you want it. Yeah. Hey, hey, hey. You got to waste the time. Yeah, 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 yeah. Hey, hey, hey. You got to waste the time. Yeah, 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 yeah. Oh, oh. You got to waste the time. Time. Got some wasted time. There's a bomb, silence comes in an easy dose. Getting near is too much of most. I'll take my chances and I'll start to live. I think you got it, I know you want it. Yeah, hey, hey, you got some wasted time. Yeah, 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 yeah. Oh, oh, you got some wasted time. Got some wasted time. There's a bomb.
Yes.
Thank you.
I remember that song. That was awesome.
That was fun. Yeah.
And lots of gigs.
Whew,
I mean, I don't think you could probably count how many gigs you played with that band.
Oh man, with you too,
and
man.
I can't count how many gigs we played together.
Chad's one of the only few people that I know has definitely played more gigs than me. But I play a lot of gigs, man. A lot of places. Good places, really bad places.
Oh yeah, yeah, we do it all. And then sometimes the bad places are our favorites. So.
Actually, they are, actually. And actually, one of the worst experiences I had was actually my funnest, which was, I can't remember the name of this bar. It was out in Pomona. And it was a castle. It looked like a castle. Maybe you guys remember what the name of that thing is. Anyway, I went on a bad night. I don't know what night we got booked on, but it was not our kind of sound at all. It was real heavy. First guy was batting his head with the mic, bleeding. I was like, this is some G.G. Allen shit tonight, and I don't think we match it. And so it had a gate, no joke, a real fence gate in front of the stage. And right off the bat in my head, I just instantly thought Blues Brothers. You know, I was like, that's a bad sign. Like, why is there a chain link fence in front of the damn stage?
Oh,
I'm
right,
like,
yeah.
And they're like, oh, it gets a little rowdy in here. And that's what the bartender said.
Oh, right, yeah.
I'm like, holy shit, dude, this is not going to be good. So we start playing. I don't think we got maybe, 16 bars into the first song. And I hear someone just like, turn that fucking shit off. And I giggle. I remember giggling during the song because I could hear it over the music. You know, like I was like, that was a very aggressive heckle, like very aggressive. And I look up and it's the bartender. The bartender heckled us. And she was one of 4 people in the room. That's playing music in Los Angeles,
That's right.
people.
That's
That's
awesome.
how we go. Some nights
awesome,
are going to go that way. But I remember that so distinctly and laughing, I think, for years about it.
Oh, yeah, no, it's worth it.
Like, it's worth it just for that
you have the
experience.
best story ever,
Dude,
right?
I almost got attacked by the bartender that booked us at the show. I'm like, that's awesome.
So speaking of that whole situation, right,
Yeah.
the Blues Brothers.
Yeah.
So I'm on tour with Easter, and we play this bar in Texas, and it was the same type of thing. There was chicken wire in front of the stage, right?
Totally right.
And we're going, this is fucking crazy. What the hell is it? And it was almost the same type of situation, right? We start playing, and it was a very mixed crowd of what people wanted to hear. And it literally, it went well at the beginning, and as the set went on, it made a turn, and then it was like a bar fight out in the crowd, and bar stools and the whole thing.
Oh my gosh.
The whole thing, and Corky looks at me and he goes, dude, I'll just keep hitting the snare, and you start unloading all the equipment out the back. Right, and he's playing the snare, and we're unloading all the equipment.
And he slowly just walks out the door
until it was just the snare, and then he just picked it up, and we ran out the door and went to our next gig.
We're out of here. Gotta love it. The tour life. It's not so glamorous sometimes, people.
It's so awesome.
Good memories. That's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah.
So then, along the way, we hung out so much and did so many things together. I asked you to join me because one of the guys in my band, Big Mess, got injured.
Yes.
And I said, hey, Billy, I know you play some drums. You think you could come and fill in for drums at this gig because our drummer broke his ankle and he needs somebody to fill in, and so you jumped in on drums. So tell us a little bit about
that experience. Okay, so Chad knows a lot of songs, guys. A lot of songs. So I play drums, but I play drums, how do I say? I played in a couple bands, but for me I drum, it's more just to record stuff, so he goes, yeah, you want to play this gig? It's Wednesday. Okay, I go, when's the gig? Friday. I'm like, how many songs you got? 30. I was like, what? So I think I drove my neighbors pretty nuts for those 2 days too, and I hammered out those songs pretty fast, and showed up nervous as shit, dude, because I was like, dude, I don't know, that's 30 songs, man. And I was getting some of them confused, like in my head. And so we showed up, but we had a great time. I thought that was a blast.
And I told you, I said, don't worry. When we're at the gig, we can just look at each other in the eye and figure it out.
That's the one thing. He's great at cues. He's great at the cue. He's old school. See, back when I started playing music too, everything was looks, man. Like it's, hey, we're changing. Hey,
and we know each other so long, right? I knew that the connection was good enough to where we could just figure it out, and we did. We played through that night, and I think maybe we repeated a couple songs, but that was about it.
That was it. Yeah, we pretty much did.
Yeah, and that was only because they were requested. Yeah. People are going, we want to hear that one again.
That was really fun. That was a fun time. And so then
we pretty much got through the night doing all different songs, not without repeating, right?
And so then I'm like, that was totally fun, and then Bernie came back, and so that was good, and everything was going fine. They're playing, and then he's like, hey, you want to play guitar on this?
Yeah, we had a gig that was set up, and our guitar player couldn't make it, right?
That was what it was. And so I go, okay, when's the gig? It's Wednesday. She goes, it's Friday. How many songs? 30. I'm like, the same 30? No, a new 30. So that was my second experience. Now learning a shitload of songs on guitar very quickly. And so then we played that gig, and that was really fun too. So then I'm like, awesome. I just learned 2 positions in the band in 2 days, both times. And then I was like, okay, cool. I don't know, a month later, and they were like, hey, how about
then you were playing the rest of the gigs we had. You just sat in and played with us, right?
And then you're like, hey, why don't you bring that keyboard you have? Here we go again. It was Wednesday. Gig on Friday. 30 songs. No, different ones. And Christmas ones and some Irish folk ones.
Yeah, because it was Christmas time, right?
And I was like, oh my god. He's like, just bring the keyboard. So I've played a lot of positions in Big Mess now. That's and he lets me play the bass.
And then finally, we're playing a gig, and I go, we're in the middle of this gig, and I said, hey, Billy, on the last song, you want to play some bass?
And we do that Iggy Pop song.
And we switched over and played.
Yeah, that was fucking awesome.
I Want to Be Your Dog, and you took the bass.
Exactly. Yeah. So I've touched all the bases in that band. So that
and then I had to add one more thing after that. I said, hey, I get this acoustic gig.
Yeah.
You want to jump in and play a little guitar and bass on the acoustic gig?
Yeah. Did that too. So we've been having some fun.
And he goes, is it the same songs? And I said, sorry to tell you no.
No, not at all.
Because there's a bunch of other songs I wrote just for acoustic.
Right. So
and some people say I'm difficult when I bring them into the band, that I make them learn a lot of songs.
Not at all. Just a few hundred.
And you find out, when we play with other bands, we find out that is true, because I would say probably at least 80% of bands play the same 10 songs every time.
Yeah. A lot of them do
every
that.
Time
a
they
lot
play
of them do that. A lot of them do that. Yeah, it's hard to mix up the variety.
So apparently it's really hard to write original music. Because you've probably written hundreds of songs,
Too many songs, man. A lot of songs.
And I definitely have written hundreds of songs, right? Yeah. So.
Yeah, it's funny. Yeah, there's definitely bands that play the same ones over and over, but everyone has their stick, man. Everyone has their stick in this biz, you know. So.
All right. So here's one of the cover songs we did.
Which one?
With and we'll play Brand New Cadillac. How about that?
Okay. Wish me luck.
Hello. Billy and Chad are back in the house. Well, feel free to throw money in the tip jar so we can give it all to the bartenders. Baby drove up in a brand new Cadillac. Baby drove up in a brand new Cadillac. I'll see you, Daddy. I ain't never coming back. My baby, can't you hear my plea? Said, come on, sugar, won't you come on back to me? Said, boss to you, Big Daddy. My baby drove up in a brand new Cadillac. I said, Jesus Christ, where did you get the Cadillac? Said, boss to you, Daddy, I ain't never coming back. Baby drove up in a brand new Cadillac. I said, baby drove up in a brand new Cadillac. I said, boss to you, Daddy, I ain't never coming back. Can't you hear my plea? I said, come on, sugar, won't you come on back to me? Said, falls to you, Big Daddy. Said, baby, drove up in a brand new Cadillac. I said, Jesus Christ, where did you get that Cadillac? I said, falls to you, Daddy.
you enjoyed the video, and now let's get back to one more little side project we did.
Yeah.
It was a whirlwind of projects and fun shit. Between you were playing with Million Kids, you were playing with Big Mess, and we were doing other projects. And then my daughter says, "Hey, can you do a song for this movie that I'm making?" And I go, "Sure." And she goes, "I want you to do that song Bubbles that Grandpa liked." And I go, "Okay." And so you and I got together and we learned Bubbles.
Yeah.
We learned Tiny Bubbles.
Tiny Bubbles, right.
Right?
By
Don Ho.
Don Ho.
And so we learned that song.
Tiny Bubbles.
And we practiced it, got it down, and then we came to your studio and we recorded it, right? We recorded on your home studio and it came out great. It was friggin' awesome. Right? And I gave it to her, and the movie that she made is about her grandfather, which is my father, right? And so after the whole thing, she listens to the song, she goes, "That sounds great," and everything. She goes, "But that's not the song he sings." And I go, "Yeah, I know he sings that song. This is the song he thought he was singing, but he sings it nothing like that song." So she goes, "I kind of wanted the one that he does."
Right.
So then I got out into my room and just sat there and I worked out a version of a song that sounds like the way he sang it, and it's my memory of him singing the song.
Right.
And I recorded this song on my latest album that'll be out this year. So you hardly know it. You have never heard it. You've never heard it.
So 15 minutes. This is a song. Let's go. I'm like, yes.
So we're gonna jump in now, as we always did. Where I said, we get a new song. Jump in. Let's do it. And this one here is called Bubbles. This was written for my daughter's movie, for my daughter, about my father and the way he sang Tiny Bubbles, which is a whole different song than this one that I wrote, which is actually him singing that song.
I hope he puts that on the linear notes of the album, because that's the best way to describe it.
Tiny bubbles in my mind. Tiny bubbles all the time. I said bubbles, 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 bubbles in my head.
Let's do it one more time. Fucked up. Damn it. I wasn't ready for that. Damn it. I was like, is he going to do the lead right there? Is that the lead part? Yep. Sure was. Sorry. My bad.
Give him a nod or something.
Fucked up on that. No, I read it. I felt it. And then I was all like, yep.
Just go with it, even if you make a mistake.
Okay,
it's fine.
all right, we'll do one more
Nobody's going to know.
One more time.
And here's the song. This one is Tiny Bubbles. bubbles, 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 bubbles in my head. Nice. Now they sparkle in my glass. Look straight at them, I hope they last. Another glass of sparkling wine. Straight at them, I hope they find. I said bubbles, 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 bubbles. I said bubbles, bubbles in my head. Take it, Billy. Everywhere, tiny bubbles in my mind. I see bubbles all the time. I said bubbles, 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 bubbles. I said bubbles, bubbles in my head. Look straight at them, I hope they last. Another glass of sparkling wine. Sit and watch, then you'll be fine. I said bubbles, 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 bubbles. Said bubbles, bubbles in my head. I said bubbles, 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 bubbles in my head. Nice. So what do you think?
Just learned it. Like that song. That was a good song.
Right, yes,
All right,
yes.
cool.
Yeah, my father wrote a great song there. It's awesome. So in the credits, when it says Carrier, it's my father gets credit for writing that song.
All right, so did your dad play music? Was he a musician as well?
No, and he couldn't carry a note when he sang. It was awesome.
That's great, man.
It was awesome.
That's cool.
But he loved to sing. That was one of his favorite passions.
Nice.
When the national anthem came on, he was louder than anybody in the room.
That's awesome. I love it. Cool.
So, I know you have some new songs that you've been releasing in the last year. So I've seen
they're a
couple
little
videos
bit more electronic kind of space stuff. It's more solo stuff because
Yeah, so tell us about it and tell us about inspiration. You had some inspiration to go that way. So.
Yeah, well, I used to play around a lot actually with electronic music around like 2000, but I never did anything on a band wise, you know. But I just kind of put it on the back burner, and then since A Million Kids is kind of like a, it's more just a random thing that will happen every now and then. I started. I wanted to release an album, so I actually had recorded an entire album. It was like 12 songs ready to go, and my computer crashed, and I lost the entire album. And so I got kind of bummed out, man. I was really bummed out about the whole thing. So I just didn't play music probably for about a year, and then I got inspired to do a song called "Circuits in My Brain," and that one got played quite a bit. That was doing really good. And I'm actually going to release that as an NFT. That's going to be my first music NFT.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah, so people went down my rabbit hole, and they were like, oh, hey, you're a musician. They found the song, and they're like, hey, why don't you release that song? I was like, okay, let me try it. So anyway, it's a little bit more electronic-based. It kind of, I kind of went for that old kind of early 90s kind of trip-hoppy kind of sound to it a little bit. And I think I'm going to do more stuff like that, because it kind of, I play everything, so I play drums, I play keyboards, as Chad knows. So I just wanted to kind of do something that I could kind of put together, and then if I ever do it live, I think I just want to get a bunch of people to do it, get like a fun band that's just make it more of a party, to have just like a good time going out and playing. Everyone kind of has a part and kind of does some stuff. I think that would be kind of a fun way to do it, because I saw this thing at Cafe Nella they did where they had like 50 people doing this stuff. Everyone had a part and were singing, and it was a really cool experience.
Sweet.
I was like, how cool! What a fun idea! So maybe someday I'll do that, and I'll be up in Portland now. So Chad, I know you go on tour. So
yeah. So when I'm up there,
I have 2 guest rooms.
We'll be getting together. Yeah.
You're welcome to stay.
And then you'll be playing, I'm sure.
There you go. You got to back up right there, man. Right. Keenan Dula recording in the garage.
Right there, you go.
So it's gonna be.
And
good.
Then when I play some live gigs around you, I'll say, "Come on, Billy, get out there, play some guitar, keyboard, whatever the hell I need."
For sure, 100%.
And I will probably need some keyboards, because my new album that I've recorded has a lot of keyboards.
Oh, nice, cool, man.
Yeah,
awesome, perfect.
And so this would probably be a good time to break away and show your video. So
okay,
here's Billy's video. What's the name of it?
It's called "Circuits in My Brain," and it's about a dystopian future where a robot realizes what he has done. It's kind of like Skynet with feelings. That's what I'd say to it.
And here you are. Enjoy the video.
Circuits in his brain. It's just circuits in circuits in his brain. It's just circuits in his brain. It's just circuits in his brain. It's just circuits in his brain. 0101.
Well, I hope you enjoyed the video. I thought it was pretty cool when I saw it on the internet the first time.
yeah,
I was
cool.
like, this is bitchin'.
Nice, man. Cool. Glad you liked it.
Yeah. Cool. Well, I love diversity. I love it when people do something totally different.
Yeah.
Especially in the same band, because it was
Yeah. I try to change
a million
it up.
kids, right? But it was so different.
Yeah. Well, I don't know what I'm going to call it. I'm just releasing under BC right now, so we'll see what happens. We'll see.
Right. So I got real busy during the pandemic writing songs, and I actually was able to record a bunch of stuff.
Nice.
And I know you did some stuff during that.
Yeah, a little bit.
You did a
little bit. I haven't. I got really into I've been doing NFTs. The new NFT craze. I've kind of hopped in, so I've been.
And then you were doing a lot of 3D printing and
a lot of 3D printing.
Yeah.
And I'm just printing in general. I do
a lot of graphic art.
Yeah,
stuff,
I do.
Right?
During the pandemic, I was doing a lot of print-on-demand stuff, like shirts and that kind of stuff. And then the pandemic messed all the supply chains up. So I brought it in-house. So now I can make shirts and I make mugs and all that stuff here. So I kind of have like a little lab in here of stuff that I do. So it's a
so at the end of the show, I'll probably put my order in for the mugs and whatever else I need.
I'll make you a mug before you leave, man, so you can walk away with a chat.
There you
mug.
go. There you go. Okay, so during that time, I recorded a couple albums.
Yeah.
That'll be out this year.
Yeah.
And so let's do it again. This is another one you absolutely don't know.
All right.
So
Am I going to do the drums on this one?
and I kind of wrote it about the pandemic.
I'm
And
doing the drums?
throw some drums down. And this one's called Silence, and I kind of wrote it about the pandemic. It's the lyrics are a little bit intense because we had a really weird time during this pandemic.
Yes.
So just go ahead and
Yeah, I hope you like this new angle where we get more of Billy. This one here is called Silence. Nothing is normal, everything's strange. You can feel the fear, it's been rearranged. No one is out there, we're all locked away. Nothing to offer, nothing to say. I'm having a breakdown, I'm going insane. I can't stand the silence, I can't take the pain. When this is over, we need to repair all of the damage. It just isn't fair. Time to recover, the world has changed. Time to get over, no one to blame. I'm having a breakdown, I'm going insane. Can't stand the silence, I can't take the pain. Nice, Billy. Light is shining, let's move from here. We got this together, we can stop the fear. It's time to answer the voice inside. Take a moment, we're by your side. side. Nothing but silence you feel in the air. Everyone is acting like they don't care. Reach out and help us, come in and stay. Everyone together, we can start a new day. I'm having a breakdown, I'm going insane. I can't stand the silence, I can't take the pain. I'm having a breakdown, I'm going insane. I can't stand the silence, I can't take the pain. There was that cue we were talking about. So here we are. You have a big change in your life. You're going to be moving.
Portland, kind of northwest. I've always kind of liked it up there. First, we were, we work remotely, and California's just rent's too damn high, and we were having a hard time finding a house out here. To be quite honest, it's a hard place to. The market is so empty right now. The inventory is so low. When you're looking for a house, it's like gone in seconds.
It's frustrating.
It's frustrating. And so up there we started looking around, and the kind of house you can get up there is way nicer for the price. So, and it's a cheaper town, and
it's beautiful.
It's beautiful
area.
up there. Yeah, it's really nice. We just went up there to visit and take a look at the house, and it was just, it's like 5 miles. 5 minutes. It's a hike that's like unbelievable. Redwood Forest hikes everywhere. So I'm loving it, and I kind of like the cooler weather anyway. It might be a little gloomy. I know it rains. I know all that, but I've been through a pandemic, guys. I have to let you know.
And you'll be able to carry on with the music because they have a pretty vibrant music scene there as well. So
what was really funny was that as soon as I posted, "Hey, I'm moving to Portland," I think the thing that happened was immediately was a plethora of DMs going like, "Hey, so we're going to be touring in October." So I might be a destination stop. Who knows for my friends that tour up there. So anyway,
and there's plenty of places to play.
Lots of places to play up there.
I was in Nashville a couple months ago and playing in Nashville, and I met a guy there. I did the show with him.
Yeah.
And him and his buddy were from Portland.
Oh yeah.
And they play a lot of shows there.
Yeah, there's a lot of shows, a lot of street musicians up there, and then you got Seattle.
When you get up there, I'll give you his number. You can hook up.
Yeah, for sure, man. Yeah, because Seattle's also 3 hours away, so it's a pretty good, vibrant scene up there.
And I think he lives about 35, 40 minutes from Portland. So he's playing there all the time.
Yeah. There's lots of stuff. There's a lot of street musicians that are really good. There was this guy that was doing this Jimi Hendrix experience thing that was just awesome, and I usually don't say that because it's most Jimi Hendrix experiences are not very good.
They're not Jimi
Harris. This guy actually was pretty good.
They're Jerry Harris. They're not Jimi Hendrix.
Yeah, it's it's like the other Stallone. It's and God bless y'all. It's always nice to play those songs, but. Some guys
so tell us how we can find your music and find you.
Go to bccaldwell.com. That has a lot of my art and has my music links and stuff, and I'll be posting more on that soon. You can follow me on Facebook at Facebook/ I think it's just BC Caldwell. It might just be BC. I'm not remembering. See how good I am at this plug stuff?
Yeah, that's good.
So that, and then also check out my NFT things. I'm also an artist. Check out morbs.app. That's morbs.app. And you can check out my NFTs and my 3D animated series I'm making about mutant organic robots that buy shit. That's what it stands for. And so it's a little comedy kind of thing. So.
And that's yet another connection. in case you didn't know, with Big Mess.
Yeah,
Before he played with Big Mess, he did an album cover.
I
for Big
did.
Mess.
Yeah,
And it's Bernie's favorite album cover.
oh, that's awesome. I love that. I didn't know that. I didn't know that. Yeah, I like doing the arts.
That one was Demons.
Yeah. I remember that one. That was a good one. That was the one with the woods, the car in the woods.
Yeah, in the car in the front. Yeah. This is
No,
awesome.
that was a good. I like that one. That was a good album. Yeah.
So we'd like to thank you all for coming out
Thank
to
you, guys.
Chad's Underground
Thank you, Chad,
Scene
for having me.
with my special guest, Billy
Yeah.
Caldwell
Yeah.
from Million Kids,
Yeah.
and soon to be in Portland. So
Soon to be in
keep an eye
Portland. So
out.
yeah, Northwest. Watch out.
And remember, it all starts in the underground.
That's right.
We talk about everything, play music in between.